Welcome back in. It's lunchtime. That means you need to join us here at Social Taco in Homewood. Hey, Gringo. Good to see you. BB is here. She brought a red velvet cake. You come and join us in the terrace. You can enjoy a small sliver of that red velvet cake and enjoy great fellowship with our wonderful Jocks listeners and some great food here at Social Taco. It's a Mix and Match Taco Tuesday. They also have burritos, Mexican pizzas, chicken feathers. We're going to have an order of those coming up as well. And don't forget about weekends. I got brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. It's the Bottomless Tapas brunch, 10 to 2:30 on Saturday, 10 to 2:30 on Sunday. Check them out for holiday parties and much more. SocialTaco.bar for more information.
So last night, Monday Night Football, the Chiefs over the Commanders, 28-7. Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 picks in the game, but the Chiefs look like a completely different team as they did just a couple weeks ago. They have now won 5 of their last 6, starting the season 0-2. Meanwhile, World Series last night, you had to stay up till about 1:50 a.m. Birmingham time to see the Dodgers overtake the Blue Jays 6-5. It was Freddie Freeman had a blast to deep center field as the longest game in the history of the World Series concluded last night after 18 innings, 609 pitches, 37 runners left on base, 25 position players used. Total time, 6 hours, 39 minutes. Shohei Ohtani hits 2 home runs. Just an amazing game. Dodgers now lead 2-1.
Amazing game, but I'm so glad that Major League Baseball moved to the extra innings setup that we have in the regular season as opposed to getting that on a late July night into the wee hours of the morning. What about you? Because I know you had some reservations at first, but do you like the extra inning rule now? Are you okay with it that they have in a regular season as opposed to going 18 innings in a regular season game?
No, I think you should go 18 innings in a regular season game.
Yeah, I know. I was going to get that from you.
I mean,
I thought maybe you would relax a little bit on that.
No, I have not. I will not change my feeling on that. So, I mean, if you're going to do that during the regular season, then do that stupid ghost runner during the postseason.
What about Spider Tack? Do you want to bring that back?
Sure. Bring Pine Tar all the way up from the bottom of the knob all the way to the very top.
Tip of the barrel.
Absolutely.
George Brett style.
Hollow out that thing, man. Put
some corks in there.
Put some cork. What's the big deal?
You know
Use
what?
an aluminum bat. I don't care.
Put that stuff in your veins. It's going to make your muscles big. Go ahead.
Doesn't matter.
No.
I would love that from Pat. Doesn't like the ghost runner rule, but would be fine with aluminum. I know you're kidding, but
yes, you're going to get somebody killed if you did that.
No, I know. Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, there's fast pitch softball. When I see that third baseman creeping in, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't care what kind of BB core you got on that bat, man.
No thanks.
Alabama is off this week. We had a chance to catch up with Charlie Potter. If you missed that interview in the 11 o'clock hour, you can always download the 3-Man Front podcast. Hour number 1, we talked to Mike Griffith from DogNation.com. He's predicting a very close game between Georgia and Florida coming up this weekend. In about 15 minutes, we'll talk to Michael Bratton, that SEC podcast, get his feelings on the current status of the Southeastern Conference. Next hour, Dimitri Ravanos. So we've got a very busy show. But I was mentioning Bama being off this week. Just noticed a couple minutes ago that Alabama has reopened, according to the Vegas point spread, a 12.5-point favorite over LSU. The Tide had been a 5.5 to 7-point favorite in summer betting on the game. But obviously that spread has widened after LSU began the season with a 5-3 record, and now Brian Kelly has been fired. So the point spread is now 12.5 points, Bama the favorite. The new point spread would be the widest for an Alabama-LSU game since 2021, when Alabama was favored by 28.5 points in what became a 20-14 win over the Tigers in Ed Orgeron's final season as coach.
Oh.
That was also the most recent game LSU entered unranked against Alabama. Yeah, I remember we built that game. You know, the two games that we talked a bunch of smack on this show, or at least I did, was, remember we had the countdown to when Jimbo Fisher was going to get his ass whipped in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Yep.
You remember what happened there?
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe, the walking turnover, turned the ball over 25 times.
Yes.
And Texas A&M, Alabama had to stop them at the goal line.
Oh, yeah. I was at that game in person. It was awful.
To preserve that win. And then I just mentioned that was supposed to be another butt whipping in Tuscaloosa, right? And Bama snuck it out 20-14. I'm just not opening my mouth anymore.
I was about to say, my early takeaway for Better to Forget It next week is LSU plus the points. That's
You got Alex Atkins, who is going to be calling the offense, right?
Correct.
Who was calling the plays for DJ
Charlotte.
Uiagalelei at Florida State last year,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. That was
Yep.
a high-powered offense.
And before that, well, in 2019, he was with the University of Charlotte 49ers.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure FSU Dave, when he gets up here, he can correct us if we're wrong. I believe Mike Norvell was calling the plays. I believe he was not the play caller.
Okay, well, yes. Sorry, his title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right.
He's not
about
calling them anymore, is he?
No, he's not.
No.
That would be Gus.
I wonder how he and Gus are doing right now. You need FSU Dave. Tell us how strained is that relationship?
I don't think it's probably strained because Gus Malzahn's actually doing his job.
Oh, I know.
that. If
It's
it
the
wasn't for
defense.
Gus, Norvell would have been fired already, probably.
I mean, you bring in this cat from Nebraska.
I think Norvell. The rumor was that Norvell was getting paranoid that Gus was out for his job.
He should be paranoid about a lot of people being out for his job right now. For
The
being
reason that
honest.
Gus is there is because he doesn't want your job.
Yeah.
He just wants to call plays.
Yeah.
But who knows what happens with that? Gus might have hitched his. Well, Gus probably got a guaranteed 3-year deal with it. So once again, God bless America.
All right, so let's go back 24 hours ago at the Hugh Freeze weekly press conference. He was asked a question about talking to his athletics director. This is what he had to say about that topic.
No, I haven't. He was obviously excited for our win, and we celebrated together for a moment there on the field. But I don't get into those conversations because I just don't think it's how does that help? With our focus on what it should be on, and that's on these kids getting ready to win another football game. That's what you're hired to do. I think all of us that sign up for this know you're fighting for your life from the day one that you get into it. And man, I love Billy Napier and had great respect for Coach Kelly. I didn't know him as well. You hate to see that. You really hate to see it for the building. It's you get it. Every school's got to make those decisions, but I think that's probably the hardest thing for this position is just the weight that you carry for all these young families and people. And so I just don't focus at all on that. I trust in our administration, President Roberts, John Cohen, and those guys. And, I've been here just short of 3 years, and is the program better than when I got here on the roster? Yes. Are we close? Yes. And I've won everywhere I've been, and I believe with all my heart we're going to win big here. But my focus needs to be not on anything other than how do I help these young men grow this week as players and as young men, and how do I help our staff become even more united than they are, and they're pretty dang united. So that's where my focus lies, and I really don't have any desire to have any discussions about anything other than that.
He
Did
said
he
the
say
magic
it?
words, Landrum.
Yeah, he said we're close. I can't. Anyways, wow. Yeah, I think he said a lot of good things there, and he's right. What good is it going to do? I don't blame John Cohen one way or another of not coming out and saying, hey, he's got our full support, or, yeah, it's really questionable. I think anything that you say right now from John Cohen, it's probably not helpful either way you look at it. But by John Cohen not saying anything, I think it's pretty safe to assume what he's thinking and maybe the vibe down there on the campus of Auburn and in that athletic department. Probably thinking about mulling over some options.
So they were able to watch 45 minutes of practice this morning. This was some of the reporting that was done this morning. It says Auburn Athletics Director John Cohen and Chief of Staff Lee Van Horn watched stretches from a distance. Freeze later had a long talk with Van Horn, but did not see him speak to John Cohen.
Yeah, Van Horn's his football ops guy.
See, that's where you and I have a friendly disagreement. I believe the athletics director has to communicate with the fan base and tell them what's going on. Does he need to tell them, rhyme and verse of everything that's going on? But, I mean, Hugh Freeze is swinging in the wind right now, period.
Yeah.
And so, but the flip side is by him not saying anything, I think that is actually saying something.
That's what was my point, Pat, where he can remove himself, kind of, John Cohen, I mean, and saying, look, I didn't say one thing or another, but Auburn fans are smart enough to decipher what's going on. If you're a college football fan, and you're in the SEC, especially with all the coaching changes and all the drama we've had around here, by not getting – because what was the old saying? It was when an athletics director came out, we still didn't believe him. It was a kiss of death.
About a week later, they would probably fire him.
So you're kind of danged if you do and danged if you don't. I understand it from the fan standpoint, but I think that from what I've been told, and I've got a neighbor who competed at Mississippi State. His wife's an Alabama grad, but his family, they give a lot to State. So he had more of an intimate knowledge of John Cohen prior to coming here. And he said, one thing you got to know about John Cohen, he is highly intelligent. He said, number one. People need to know he is a highly intelligent guy. But he's also very strategic, and you need to know that he's very calculated too. So when you don't think anything's going on behind the scenes, he's very proactive, and that's something I've heard from him. It's something I've heard from others. I think Auburn fans in this case, with this guy leading the athletic department, should feel better about it than maybe AD's past. And I don't have to go down that list.
Well, I just think it gets to a certain point in time when Hugh Freeze makes statements so declarative like, we're going to win big here. Give me one example of why anybody in the state of Alabama would believe anything from that statement.
Oh, is he talking about Auburn or is he talking about Hugh Freeze? Because, yes, Auburn will win big again without Hugh Freeze.
I think he's referring to him being the captain of the ship.
Well, you've
I
had
don't
2.5 years.
Oh, that's my point. Like,
yeah, like you pointed everybody to year 3.
This is year 3. You spent nearly $20 million, if not more, on your roster. You have done nothing.
And if there's anything, Pat, that I cling to, I do listen to your press conferences, and I heard what you said to everybody, and we were there in Atlanta when you said we should be in the college football playoff conversation.
In November.
He didn't say we'll be there in the playoff. He said we should be. He felt that good about this team headed in. And the most disappointing thing is you were brought as the offensive innovator, that guy. And that's what I thought at least Auburn was getting. All right, Hugh's really good with the X's and O's. Hugh can draw up some stuff. He can figure some stuff out. Offense, that's probably the least of Auburn's worries. That's been the problem this year. Has been the offense when you have a great defense, a really good defense, opportunistic defense, one that a lot of programs would take. Durkin's done a great job on that side of the ball. Offense has been a mess. Why? And that's why, let's take Hugh Freeze. All right, you're just going to be the CEO. Bring in an OC. Then why not just clear out Hugh Freeze? You're going to promote Derek Nix, who's a Hugh Freeze guy, Ken Austin. They're thick as thieves.
Yeah.
They all believe in the same things, schematically, philosophically. Why do you need Hugh Freeze as a CEO of your program? Don't get me wrong. Auburn is in better shape since when he took over that program.
No, but nobody's doubting that.
Nobody's doubting that. There's been no major scandals. You've got guys that you've had energy around the program. You've had good recruiting classes. I think it's really hard not to recruit to Auburn unless you're Brian Harsin. You go out of your way not to do it. But I don't want to take anything away from that. But you're paid to win and lose. Brian Kelly just got fired, Hugh. Brian Kelly.
He had a better record against ranked opponents and a better record in the SEC than Hugh Freeze does.
You're not in the same conversation or ballpark when we're talking about accomplishments as a college head coach. He just got fired.
We will talk to that SEC podcast host, Michael W. Bratton, also known as SEC Mike. That's next on Three Man Front. It is 12:18. Welcome back. We're live at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. We're here each and every Tuesday on Jocks and Three Man Front. Appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from that SEC podcast, number one SEC podcast out there. One of the hosts of that award-winning show is Michael Bratton, also known as SEC Mike, joins us here on the program. Mike, I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Tuesday.
Yeah, doing great, guys. I appreciate you having me, and I like that tune, too, Blinded by the Light. That's how I feel when I watch Auburn play football.
Oh, my goodness, just right out of the gate, you're ready to attack Auburn. All right, so what do you think? How many more games before Hugh Freeze has shown the door?
Well, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how bad we royally screwed up this offense. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but it seemed like they were having their way with Arkansas on the ground. But for some reason, we're deciding to throw the football in the red zone, and I legitimately thought Jackson Arnold's pick six. I thought that was it for Hugh Freeze, but somehow they found a way, thanks to Arkansas imploding in the fourth. I think Hugh Freeze, he's probably got 2 more weeks, and then I think he'll be shown the door.
All right, so Michael, if Hugh Freeze is shown the door by Auburn, who's the most obvious fit for you to fill that vacancy?
Well, I've said it already. I think if they go out and maybe they can't get him at this point in time because seemingly everybody's firing their coach these days, and the number one name on so many hot boards is John Summerall. But I think Auburn can get him, and I think if John Summerall is your coach, I think Auburn can make the college football playoff as soon as next season. I don't think this is some massive rebuild. I think they have the roster. I think they have the means to keep it together, and if they have a competent coach, I think this is a playoff-worthy team in 26.
You've made no bones about Hugh Freeze, but I am interested to get your opinion and your perspective because he has failed, in my opinion. The close losses, and it goes back to year one. You want to talk Georgia game, you want to talk Gravedigger. Year 2, year 3. Where do you think it's happened? Is there a disconnect? Has the game passed him by? As you encapsulate what you've seen in 2.5 seasons of Hugh Freeze at Auburn, what do you think has happened?
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's almost like I'm from the future when it comes to my Hugh Freeze takes. I swear I'm not, but they're kind of easy to see because aside from beating Alabama, what was that 12 years ago? I just don't see anything that the guy's done that makes him a qualified Southeastern Conference head coach when it comes to personnel decisions, when it comes to play calling, when it comes to developing quarterbacks, when it comes to running an offense. I mean, it's a travesty week in and week out, and this is of his choosing, and he has let go of coordinators that he hired. He's got rid of an entire quarterback room that he assembled. I mean, nothing the guy does. It's just one excuse after the other. And, this year it's the referee's fault. So, he's just completely out of excuses in my book.
All right, so if John Summerall, as you just mentioned on the show, that if it would be Summerall, you believe that Auburn would be back in contention for the college football playoff as early as 2026. Do you see any shape or form? Let's just say that Auburn goes on a run here. Let's say that Auburn wins the Iron Bowl against Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. And, do you still see a situation where they show him the door? Or I know you said 2 weeks probably he's out, but if they did get on a run, do you put your faith and trust in him for 2026?
Well, if they beat Alabama, my thoughts and prayers will be in Tuscaloosa because some horrific accident has occurred to where Alabama doesn't have the players that they have today because there's no shot, Pat, that Auburn has beaten Alabama. I don't even think they can beat Vanderbilt. So I think when Vanderbilt goes to the Plains and whoops them, that's going to be it. But, yeah, if we want to live in a fantasy land where Hugh Freeze figures out how to coach in the next couple weeks, or maybe if Ty Simpson throws 5 interceptions, Diego Pavia the same, Auburn's got a heck of a defense. I'll give him that. But I would assume Hugh Freeze just doesn't have his hands on any of that, given how good the defense plays.
All right, we heard your thoughts on Hugh Freeze and what maybe Auburn elects to do. What about a guy like Clark Lee at Vanderbilt? Is that Clark Lee's really good there because it's the perfect fit, the perfect storm? How tough is it going to be for Vanderbilt to retain Clark Lee?
Honestly, Lance, I don't think it'll be that hard. Now, maybe I'm just a little biased because I like what I'm seeing from Vanderbilt, and I hope he stays. But Vanderbilt is – Clark Lee's been there a while, right? And his record is kind of rough. Now, again, he's inherited a complete mess. But Vanderbilt is not just Clark Lee. It's Barton Simmons, the GM, which I assume if Clark takes another job, he would take Barton with him. But it's Barton Simmons, it's Tim Beck, it's Jerry Kill, it's Diego Pavia. This is a wild storm of events. And the way I think Clark Lee will play this out, he'll look at his friend Tim Corbin, the outstanding baseball coach, who he gets offers all the time to leave Vanderbilt. And what does he do with it? He turns that into support that they don't necessarily always get at Vanderbilt. Clark Lee, I think, will use this leverage to his advantage to kind of keep this run going because I think if he goes to Florida, LSU, Penn State, I think they'll eat him up and spit him out within probably 2 to 3 years' time. Whereas at Vanderbilt, if he stays, he can turn it around, and who knows, by the time he's done, this could be Clark Lee Stadium. It legitimately could.
All right, so let's talk about the LSU opening as Brian Kelly is shown the door on Sunday. In regards to that job, what are you hearing, the people that you talk to around the Southeastern Conference, and when it's all said and done and the smoke settles, who is the next head coach at LSU?
How about Jimbo Fisher?
I think Scott Woodward would love that. I just don't think the people at LSU would love that.
They're not going to let him do it.
Yeah, if it was up to Woodward, and I don't know if it will be or not, but that's. I think it's so early in the process. I have not really heard anybody. I think we're all assuming Lane Kiffin is going to be the next coach at several of these schools, so he's got to be someone you talk to. The only thing that I've heard, Pat, and we know this is not going to happen, but the only one that I've legitimately heard is they've got to reach out to Nick Saban and tell him or make him say no. And I think that'll be a very quick conversation. But that's the only name that I've heard up to this point that I think has legs with LSU right now.
Michael, I want to stay with Lane Kiffin, though. I maintain he should stay in Oxford. I think he ultimately does stay in Oxford. Why should Lane Kiffin leave? Why would you take, if you were Lane Kiffin, the LSU job, as opposed to doing what you're doing right now in Oxford?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm with you. I think he'll more than likely stay. Now, I don't think he's going to Florida, but I do think if LSU comes calling, he may very well take that job. And just for the simple fact that, man, there's just a world of talent in Louisiana. And Kiffin is obviously an offensive-minded coach. They seemingly, even Nick Saban himself has, I believe, said this, where they just kind of elite receivers grow on trees down there in Louisiana. I just think he could clean up in that state. But you're right. I mean, I don't think it's an easy decision. I think that now this may sound like I'm dogging Florida, but I think Ole Miss is a better job the way he's got it running right now. The fact that he's got all his family down there. They have literally made his dog the mascot. I don't think Florida is the job that people make it out to be. I mean, Florida is essentially two all-time great coaches, and one of them was running an insane asylum. Two great coaches, and that's all that program is. I don't think that it's this place where you can just hire whoever you want. You're going to win national championships. I think whoever takes that's probably doomed for failure. And I'll just tell you now, I think it's going to be Eli Drinkwitz.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next question because I know Cousin Shane is his affinity for the Missouri Tigers. Do they find a way in Columbia to keep Eli, or when it's all said and done, Florida is going to have to look towards the Show Me State to bring their next head coach in?
Yeah, I think so, Pat. I think Kiffin he hasn't made it yet, obviously, but winning in Oklahoma was so huge for Ole Miss playoff hopes. That doesn't eliminate him. I think LSU and Florida would wait it out for him, but I think it just makes it that much more difficult. Meanwhile, Missouri lost to Vanderbilt, and unless they win out, which they got Texas A&M as their next game among Oklahoma and Arkansas, if Missouri doesn't win out, Missouri's not making the playoffs. So I think just the timing makes sense for Drink as well. And I know he's goofy. I know a lot of people hate him, but he really is a good football coach. And I think he'd do well at Florida, but man, he better win and win quickly. Otherwise, they'll run him off too.
Michael, give us some sizzle. We want a hot take from you. Give us a prediction that nobody sees coming at the end of the season pertaining to an SEC football coach.
I mean, is it even a hot? I don't think this is a hot take, but I mean, Stoops is. He's not going to be around. I think that's kind of assumed, so maybe that's not very hot for you. How about Steve Sarkisian? I don't know about you guys, but the fact they had to release a statement and he got so uppity about NFL rumors, he didn't necessarily deny him. He just got mad at the reporter. Give me Steve Sarkisian. I think he'll be not the coach of Texas next year. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah, that's It's not too far-fetched.
No.
Not too bad.
But you're right. He didn't deny it. He just cried foul and wanted to shift all the attention to the people because it was so ridiculous asking the question.
I mean, listen, you're getting ready to play Mississippi State. I have a hard time believing that everyone in the locker room is like, oh, is Coach going to the NFL? Is Coach – I mean, come on. I mean, nobody cares about that. They want to make sure their NIL payment hits their bank account. They could care less if Sarkisian is back next year. Whatever. All right, Mike, always appreciate your time, brother, and we will catch up with you very, very soon.
Thanks, you, Mike.
Thanks as always.
Tell Cousin Shane said
Absolutely.
hello.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. That is Michael Bratton, SEC Mike, joining us here on Three Man Front. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
See, they're Auburn fans. It's not Michael Bratton hating on Auburn. He's just not a real big Hugh Freeze fan,
No, not at all.
in case you couldn't tell.
We will roll on this Tuesday. We're live at Social Taco. This is Jock's Three Man Front.
¿De dónde eres?
12:34 here on Jocks 94.5. Welcome back. We're live at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Another great crowd. Appreciate everybody tuning us in and coming by and seeing us here at Social Taco. You know, for more than 4 decades, Alabama Professional Services, they have been your trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. These certified statewide teams at APS, they're experts, they're friendly, they're efficient, and reliable. Call them today at 205-951-9717. APS proudly serves homeowners and businesses across Alabama, including Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, and surrounding communities. Call today to request your free, no-obligation estimate, 205-951-9717, or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com. So SEC Mike gives Hugh Freeze 2 weeks. Over under 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think that Hugh makes it again. I maintain that he makes it to the end of the season. That could always change. Who knows? Maybe Hugh Freeze wins the rest of his games. I guess you could throw out. I guess he could be retained. It'd be hard if he won out. He beats Alabama in the Iron Bowl, goes to a bowl with an 8-4 record. It'd be really hard to fire him. But if you've made the decision now that this is not the future, then you don't fire him during the year. You don't name an interim coach like for instance, DJ Durkin, where if DJ Durkin is not at your list of possible suitors for the vacancy that you plan on having, you don't give a chance for DJ Durkin to get a whole lot of momentum and a groundswell of support like we saw in fewer games last year or several years ago with Cadillac Williams and that staff. Because you remember that.
Yeah.
And how that went.
So. Yeah. So President Donald Trump, he is over in the Far East, right? He's over in Japan.
Japan. He's going to maybe meet with Kim Jong-un at the tail end of the trip.
Okay.
Possibly.
Well, he was aboard the USS George Washington earlier today. He introduced the ship's captain, Timothy Watts, who is a native of Alabama, and the president mentioned the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is a direct quote from the president. I hear you're the commanding officer is a big Alabama football fan. You know, I love Alabama. I love Alabama. Captain Timothy Watts, let me just say, roll tide. You know, I love Alabama. Roll tide. That was a hell of a game this week. I don't know how the hell you pulled that one out. If you didn't win, I wouldn't have mentioned it. I wouldn't have introduced you. But you came back from oblivion. Isn't it a nice coming back? Coming back is good. End of quote from the president. So Alabama came back from oblivion to beat South Carolina.
Roll, Trump, roll.
President loves him, Alabama.
He's still keeping up. Well, for a guy who never sleeps, he should be able to catch up on college football in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. He obviously knew what was going on.
How many hours of sleep do you think he gets a night?
Probably 3.
3, yeah. About like you. He drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Neither do I.
Maybe
I do.
Drink 15.
Maybe I do.
Not 12.
I aspire to be president one day.
Oh, look who showed up.
Lugnut. Look it is.
Lugnut.
Look, it's Lugnut. Oh. He's without his trusty sidekick, the tire iron.
That's Still haven't figured that whole thing out. Maybe one day.
What, tire iron?
How to change a tire.
Oh.
Haven't had another flat, though. So.
Have you ever operated a jack of any kind?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Loaded question.
No. Yeah.
You answered correctly.
Yeah, well, it's not Friday. I could have taken that in a couple directions.
There's still time.
That's right. There is. How are y'all?
Well, we're well.
Oh, we're doing fantastic.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Put on the pullover. You got 2 shades of that pullover?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
How did he get 2, man? You got 1.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Got to know the right people.
Him and Molly
I feel
always
like I
have
do.
good
I
stuff.
feel like knowing the owner of the store. It's pretty good.
You've been talking to Pat, not Patrick. That's
No,
your problem.
Patrick, no, you're out there. Sorry about your Cubs. So what's up? What are you hearing about Alabama? Is Kalen DeBoer, is he going to the NFL? Is that
I haven't heard that one.
it? Okay. What about Ryan Grubb? Is he safe today?
For today, yeah.
Okay.
For today.
Proctor, we shutting that down?
Well, I like to think that Ryan Grubb maybe held some things back. Now, at the end of the South Carolina game, the offense looked better, but I think maybe that was I don't want too many NFL coaching offers after this season, so he had to have a little bit of a dud game mixed in there. I appreciate him doing that.
Huh.
He's thinking of the people like myself. It's very kind of him.
Did you stay up for 18 innings last night to watch the World Series?
No, it's funny. I think everybody at the station made it to the exact same point because after talking with y'all, I talked with Greg and Cole this morning, I talked with Molly, we all made it to about the 13th inning, so about midnight. And that's when I think we all collectively said, and I don't regret my decision because I was really worried, right? They're going to win it in the next inning. I'm going to miss it. I should have stayed up an extra 15 minutes. So when it went 18 innings, I felt good this morning that I made the right decision.
There was no chance I was holding out.
No. Not for those teams. Ugh.
No.
Ugh.
Braves, yes.
Of course.
So we've been talking a lot about coaching changes around the country and around the Southeastern Conference. So we asked the question today on the three-man front Twitter poll question, who do you believe will be the next head coach at LSU? You were given 4 options: Lane Kiffin, John Sumrall, Eli Drinkwitz, or other. And as of right now, with 42% of the vote is John Sumrall. Coming in with the next highest at 35% is other. Lane Kiffin at 17.3%, and then Eli Drinkwitz right at 6%.
I would have Sumrall up there. I think there's a higher chance, actually, that John Sumrall ends up at LSU than Lane Kiffin ends up at LSU. I still, at the end of the day, unless LSU has been his secret dream job, or he's just ready for new colors and a change and something that's different, how much money is LSU going to be able to throw at him? We heard Florida, $13.5 million guaranteed for 6 years. Maybe they throw that off, but is that alluring enough for Lane Kiffin to leave what you've built there in Oxford? Doesn't make sense to me.
So do we agree that as far as Sumrall's concerned, would the, I guess, reservation on LSU's end just be selling the fan base on the Tulane head coach? The optics of it, nothing to do with the quality of the head coach,
Yeah.
just the optics of hiring the Tulane coach to be the next LSU
I
coach.
think so, because there's still those, maybe the old guard at LSU, as Sean Fox told us, still some reservations about the perception of hiring a coach like that.
Because people will point and go, well, what about a Billy Napier? Look how that worked out for Florida.
Whereas I think Auburn fans would be doing cartwheels for the most part if John Sumrall took that job, and at least the unknown and the optimism maybe that would be surrounding that football program. You just heard Michael Bratton say on our show he thinks John Sumrall gets Auburn to a playoff next year.
Yeah. You just wonder
You see the schedule?
if there was a pecking order in regards to Sumrall, because we all agree that Sumrall will not be at Tulane next year. Then the question is, where is he going to go? Because there's so many different dominoes that could fall. Let's just say that Lane Kiffin wants the Florida job. He leaves there. I know Ole Miss would be all over him, just like LSU's all over him now. And I think that if something happens to Hugh Freeze, John Sumrall is going to be number 1 on Auburn's list.
And I hear from the folks that are like, keep Freeze as a CEO for continuity's sake. How much continuity do we actually see in college football these days? You don't see it from a roster standpoint because most of these kids are looking for just a bigger payday.
So basically,
and I don't blame them. Coordinators, assistants.
So what's the idea? Hugh Freeze would be like the general manager of the Auburn football program?
Yeah,
because
and
of the job he's doing recruiting?
I don't buy into that.
They do.
So
I don't think that.
Let me ask you this: with a tougher schedule as it appears right now, with six games on the road next season, what if we're at this point like, oh, by the way, there's an example of this: Billy Napier at Florida. Let's kick the can down the road and see if we're so close. Well, next year we're not going to be close anymore. We're going to be there. But then it doesn't pan out. So now where is that continuity? Is it still important for continuity? No. At that point, everybody's like, well, we've seen enough. Let's make a change. You could have done that now. That's why LSU did what they did. It's a new day in college football, and the whole mindset with everything that goes along with it has to change.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I cannot understand why you would want to bring in a new head coach and keep Hugh Freeze attached to that program in some other capacity.
Let's not treat Hugh Freeze like he's Bobby Bowden.
No. What?
Yeah, Bobby Bowden is the CEO of a program. You daggum right. Everybody knew that name. They knew what Bobby Bowden was about. They knew that iconic face on the sidelines. Yes, Bobby Bowden, CEO of the program. Hugh Freeze at Auburn as the CEO? What?
I mean, seriously, what's the best thing he's done at, like, bringing Cam Coleman to Auburn? Is that the again, there's not a crowning achievement you would look at and go, yeah, that's somebody that we want to be tethered to for the foreseeable future, even if it's
No, I
not
think
as the head
the
coach.
recruiting's been good.
It has, absolutely.
And it's been better than average.
Absolutely.
But with the resources, with the money that they have in the athletic department, with the support you have.
Would you not believe that whoever you hired would be able to do the exact same thing on the recruiting trail?
Absolutely.
So why do you need to be free?
I take a guy like John Summerall, what he did at Troy. What do you think his budget was there? What do you think his budget is at Tulane, by the way? You think that he's got just some big treasure trove of money out of his collective to go and get players? No, John Summerall's having to do it creatively.
Jackson Arnold might be making more than the entire Tulane roster.
So you give that guy somebody who has had to fight in some cases for certain things for his football team. And I'm not being disparaging. It's just a difference in the ACC, the American, or the Sun Belt, or whoever, Conference USA, and having to get some of those things that are at the minimum a given with every SEC program. You don't think a guy like that, who, by the way, knows this state, could come in and say, yeah, wow, look at what I have at my disposal.
Yeah, having the state of Louisiana in your Rolodex doesn't hurt in recruiting-wise either.
It's
from
pretty
Tulane.
intriguing.
Yeah.
Especially when your team stands at 1-4 in conference play and 4-4 overall with 4 games left.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where he ultimately ends up. If you're Auburn and you somehow end up, we were talking about this team in the offseason with John Summerall as the head coach, I think you are screaming from the mountaintops with joy.
I think you roll the dice, right?
Yes.
You roll the dice. Because
you're
how
rolling the
many
dice
times
on the bigger name guys, too.
Brian Kelly, that was a home run Grand Slam hire at LSU, but it didn't work. You're going to get the guy who's already done it and is established in one place, or you're going to get the guy who's still hungry.
Absolutely.
Who's still chasing, who's still fighting every day and waking up and eating, sleeping, breathing college football. That's the guy I want. And if it doesn't work, and I guess mathematically the chances are, in the grand scheme of things, it won't work. But what if it does? Ask Oregon what Dan Lanning's done for their program. Mm-hmm. Ask Arizona State what Kenny Dillingham did for their program in one season. Kurt Signetti, I think Indiana realizes what they got there. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, took him a couple of seasons. Looks like he's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Lane Kiffin, of all people.
Of all people.
He can't even screw this season up.
No. We'll see. We'll see what South Carolina see what South Carolina does this weekend.
I'm just setting Pat up for just a big old you-know-what burger.
Let's throw Mike Elko in there, too.
Yeah.
No way he can ruin this, right?
No way Texas A&M could ever screw this up.
No way.
All right, we will continue on from Social Taco. We still have an hour plus if you want to stop by, have a late lunch. Come see FSU Dave in all of his glory as he continues to do the tomahawk chop between beers. All right, we will continue on here on Three Man Front. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk to Dimitri Ravanos from SEC Unfiltered in his weekly hit with us. We're live at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. We even let Conrad come out today. I don't know how that happened.
I snuck out.
Oh. Molly, did you know he was sneaking out? Did he just, disappear?
Well, he didn't tell me until right before he left.
Very typical.
Yeah, so the chair in the studio, Molly, that's actually a basketball covered in a blanket. It's not me. I'm not.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not in there anymore.
Thank you.
I promise.
Did you get some cake yet?
Not yet. I had to start with the chicken feathers and then go to.
Go to the cake?
He can't ruin his lunch.
That's right. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
Chicken feathers are fantastic as always. The cake looks wonderful as well. But it's BB, so of course it's going to be wonderful.
Yes, very much so. Always appreciate BB and her wonderful pastries. As Landrum rolls his eyes because he doesn't like pastries.
No, he thought you said pasties.
I was actually trying to catch my breath. You guys take my breath away.
You
He
good?
just walked up a flight of stairs.
You
He's out of breath.
You don't know what I was doing prior to that. I was
Oh, there's Diet Coke 15.
trying to help somebody with their short game.
How many diet drinks does he have during a broadcast? About 20? Yeah.
Don't exaggerate. He's going to try to draw you into exaggeration.
I just asked her a question, and she answered.
It's okay. I took the heat off of him because I asked for a Mountain Dew, so that's like
Not
10
a
times
bully.
worse than what Landrum's drinking.
We appreciate our fine sponsors.
Absolutely. I just asked her a question. That's all.
Yeah, I drink a lot of them, more than I should. But in the mornings after my workout, I drink a ton of water. So that,
I was waiting
that
for you to
adds to
say
my restroom visits.
Drink Diet Coke in the mornings.
With my Cheerios.
You just poured over your oh, man.
Whew.
Did you guys ever have to do water over the cereal if you were out of milk,
I
like
think
Friday
one
style?
time.
I have done that before.
One time.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did that.
Or you just got a little bit of milk, and your grandmother, who was really frugal, she turned it into really, really skim milk.
Surprise, Molly, if you do the water, it's just like cereal but soggy. It adds nothing to it flavor-wise. It's just wet cereal.
Yeah.
Do you go milk first or cereal first?
You
In
got
the
to go
bowl?
cereal
You have to go
first and then
cereal.
milk to see.
That's what
yeah.
Yeah.
You're weird if you don't.
I'm not a psychopath. Come
And
on.
probably, yeah, a cereal.
I do
forward.
some weird things, but not. I don't mess with the cereal. Come on now.
Yeah.
All right, so the NCAA men's basketball will get underway next week, and we have a brand new bracketology by Joe Lenardi.
Oh, can't wait for these every day.
Oh, yeah.
Or every couple days.
This is big time.
Where's NC State?
I am looking.
It's my
Are
team.
you a Will Wade fan?
That's
this
my
year?
team to watch this year.
That's your team to watch.
Yeah.
I can tell you Alabama's a 4 seed. Auburn is a 6 seed, according to Joe Lenardi.
Seems a little okay.
Kentucky's a 2
optimistic.
seed. Another reason why Mark Stoops is going to be fired.
You think Alabama's a 4 seed is optimistic?
I mean, I think that I would probably have them where Auburn is around a 6 seed.
NC State is an 8 seed.
Okay.
I think Auburn and Alabama are both top 25 teams. I just think they're closer to 25 than.
All right, your 4 number
12.
1 seeds, according to Joe Lenardi, as of this moment, would be Purdue, Houston, Duke, and Florida.
Okay.
The SEC would have 11 teams in the NCAA basketball tournament, tied with the Big Ten.
We can't let them have that.
Big 12 has 8, ACC and Big East 5, Mountain West 2, West Coast Conference 2.
ACC with only 5. That's, again, I know y'all are older than me, but just as a kid growing up with the ACC being the powerhouse it was, and now we're talking about them not even getting half as many teams as the SEC potentially, it's wild.
Well, yes, we are older than you, but the ACC was a powerhouse when we were coming up as well.
I know.
So, yes, this is a new day.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel old.
Georgia Tech's going to win a natty in football. Will Wade going to get it done at NC State. Dimitri Ravanos joins us next.